Welcome to the Lucidist podcast, where I explore everything because I believe everything is connected to everything else. And also because I believe in the infinite, unbounded potential within each of us. And if we're going to look at that infinite, unbounded potential, then it might require us to look at a bit of everything. Today, I want to share my experience after my second EMDR session. As if you've been following along, my first one was 2 weeks ago, and that one was fascinating. It unleashed like this hatred that was as I said, was humbling. It was so large, and in the last 2 weeks has been such a powerful teacher. And all I can say at this point is I have so much respect for hate and all that it taught me, all that it showed me about myself, about life, about relationship, about others. I no longer have any animosity toward hate. Hate isn't something I want to generate in my life, but I also have a lot of compassion or space for future times where I may feel hate. Um, I'm willing now to feel hate and to explore hate, to understand it again as another experience and teacher and moment of reflection and learning. The hate has completely dissipated. I don't feel any hate now. It's very strange in 2 weeks. I don't profess that I will never again feel hate, and I'm not trying not to feel hate. I would say I have a healthy relationship with hate at this point, meaning when hate shows up, it's something that I'm not going to shove or push or deny. I'm willing to feel it and look at it and say, yes, I'm a person who experiences hate inside of me, and I'm willing to look at it and understand it. And I also can see how hate has been important in my life. It's protected me at times when I didn't understand situations well. I don't feel like I need that kind of protection anymore, but who's to say? But I do understand hate now as almost like a red flag of imbalance, something for me to look at. Whether the imbalance is, who knows? Anyway, this podcast isn't about hate. I'll get to that one. But what I wanted to talk about in this one, my second EMDR session today, I went into it. I was really proud of myself in the 2 weeks that since my first one, I was able to. I didn't try to get here. We didn't, my therapist and we didn't plan to do EMDR today. It was just, we're just going to see where I was. And I realized I was in a very open-hearted participation state. And as those of you know, this whole year, those are like the key words for me, open-hearted participation. And I showed up today and I was like, I'm good. Like, I'm ready. Like I have, everything's fine. And so we did another session, and again, this one was concerning, a moment in the rape. And it's been so interesting to me because I was open to some other big emotion, big, hard, ugly thing coming out. And of course, it's been, I don't know, not even 12 hours since I did it. So who knows what's going to happen in the next few days. But so far today, the thing that's really hit home the most, and this is what I want to share because I don't think there's any more powerful teacher than death. And that's really been the one that's hit home, is just this sort of like this like deep acknowledgement that I could die tomorrow. I could die tonight. I could die today. And so much falls away, doesn't matter, and gets in the way of living when you really let death be present, be real, be, I was going to say a guide, I guess is kind of how I feel. So today has just been just kind of like I could die today. I could have died yesterday. I could die tomorrow. We say that all the time, all the time. But if you really think, oh, if I don't get up tomorrow morning because I die in my sleep, it changes everything. It changes everything. Also, if you think of people in your life, oh, if they don't get up tomorrow because they met death in the night, whoa, like that changes everything. So much falls away. And it's funny, I don't have this sudden urge or need or sense to like rush out and do something. Like I need to connect with people. I need to communicate with people. It is not that at all. In this realization, it's the internal workings of me. I would say they're realigning and reestablishing relationships with themselves within me. So how I've been relating to myself is realigning and reestablishing it. How I'm relating to life, how I'm relating to, it kind of just stops there. Just so much sort of, I feel like death is like washing away. I explained hate as like that really cold, deep, dark lake, mountain lake. And I would say death is like this crystal clear cleansing, which I know we often talk about death, and death is always dark. The energy of death doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like this crystal clear cleansing. The reason I paused before I said that was because it reminded me a few weeks ago, maybe it was a couple of months ago. I remember I was in a therapy session and I was talking to my therapist, and I often describe the energies of different types of emotions or whatever. And we were talking about forgiveness. And I remember closing my eyes and I remember explaining that I was like, I don't think forgiveness is something you either get. It's an interesting that the word is forgive. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But the energy of forgiveness for me, and I think I said this in a podcast after that, was like a waterfall, like a kind of like a cleansing waterfall. That's how it felt to me when I allow the energy of forgiveness to move through me. It's just like a cleansing waterfall. And so it struck me as I was about to describe the energy of death, how I have been experiencing the energy of death in the last few hours, that they're very similar, forgiveness and death. And that's curious to me because I think they are incredibly similar. Like, in order to truly forgive, I think there is a sort of an inner death of sorts. And to die is not just an inner death, it's an outer death as well. So I wanted to stop in this moment because I thought it seems trivial right now to me. Like it's not whatever I'm processing, but I think it's actually bigger than I realize. To feel so like alive and vital and healthy as in my body, in my mind, and yet feel like the presence of death so near is very like startling in a way. As many of you know, like I've had health issues in the past where I have felt death near, but I was dying. I was not healthy. I was dying and I was very afraid. And so this is a new experience for me to be alive and vital and healthy, clear of mind, clear of heart, and to feel the presence of death as a guide, a mentor. is pretty profound. And I honestly wish, I wish what I was experiencing right now I could convey better. The most I can say is just the immediacy of every moment is so apparent and alive and real for me right now. The fragility of it, that in the next instant, like the phone call, the text could happen that shatters this whole, moment. And it's never the same with the loss of, with the death of someone or something important in our life. So, and it was interesting, but because before I went to EMDR, I had been listening to a podcast, and I can't remember who. I think his name is Sadhguru. I don't even think I can say his name, but he was talking about they were starting some kind of crematorium, and the tagline, I won't get this right, but you'll get the idea. The tagline for it was something like, "This is everybody's business," or "Everyone's invited," something like that. Meaning, this is something death is something we will all do. Maybe we'll have a chance to meet death. I don't know. Maybe it's so rapid, some people don't. I have no idea. But to be given this gift of death so near and so close, while I'm still healthy and vital and alive, and allowing the deep cleansing of the truth of death, the truth of forgiveness, and the truly releasing of so much. It feels like when I'm releasing her stories, and I don't want to say that I'm not patronizing the stories. I'm not demonizing the stories. I'm not saying that you should or that stories are bad. And it's not even that the stories were false. Like I said many weeks ago, the message I got was dismantle the rape. And I remember thinking, what does that even mean? That doesn't make sense. How you dismantle something that actually happened. It wasn't like a story. So, and now I'm starting to experience it. It's like the washing away of the story of rape. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Doesn't mean it didn't hurt. Doesn't mean it doesn't have consequences. But it's almost like I no longer need to carry the story, because that's the right, I was going to say I've learned what I needed to learn, but those aren't the right words. It's like I've tended the seed long enough. I've tended the story long enough that it now has grown into what it needs to be. And it is just going to live on its own. Just kind of isn't right either. Maybe, I don't know how to describe it. It's grown into, it's become what it is. It hasn't even grown. It is what it is. And it's not even like I'm walking away. It's literally like it's dissolving. It's like the presence of death. It's so powerful. It's just dissolving things that I no longer need. And I don't want to say that. And it's not, when I've heard people say that, I've misunderstood that, let go of the story or let things dissolve. And I kind of always thought intellectually, I was like, oh, that's kind of like it didn't happen. It's not that at all. what I'm experiencing right now is not that at all. Like, it is dissolving and it is like washing away. And it is still 100% happened and is, but I'm not somehow, it's just not, I'm not carrying it. It's not even, it's just not a part of me anymore. And yet it still happened. And maybe that's what forgiveness is. I'm so fascinated by forgiveness because I don't think it is at all what we've been taught. I know I've said that a million times. In this moment, it's like the forgiveness of it is that it's no longer a part of me. Like it's no longer, let's say there were like all these atoms of rape. I don't know how else to describe this, but like all these atoms of rape, and they were just kind of spread all throughout me, meaning they were like part of me. And somehow this death and this, and when I started this podcast, I was just going to mention the death piece, and now this forgiveness is coming up. So, but it's like this death, which also feels very similar to forgiveness, is like washing all those little rape atoms out of me, and they're not in me anymore, which doesn't mean they're not still around or here. It's not, didn't unmake it. It just isn't part of my physical, mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual being. It's just something that happened. And it feels like a death. It feels very much like a death. Like there's, like with many deaths, there's grief and there's loss, there's some confusion. There's also a strange sense of relief. I think there can be relief in many deaths, even as they can be filled with grief. And I don't know that we allow for that. I think we're all supposed to behave a certain way when death comes. And or forgiveness. And you're supposed to behave a certain way when you forgive. I don't believe either of those. And I think it's so dependent on not just the person, but the way I behave with one person's death or forgiveness, in one situation compared to another are going to be two totally different things. So I just wanted to take a moment to capture this, if for no one else, honestly, but me. I would like to remember the immediacy of this moment. And I feel like it goes back, and I've spoken a lot about, I felt Eli Connor a lot recently. My dear nephew that taught me that every breath is precious. Those words kept me alive many times when I didn't want to be here. They gave me faith many times when I thought there was no hope. And now they're drawing me more deeply into life and into the immediacy of every moment, of every breath, of every sensation, every moment, every experience. And in this moment here with death so near and yet the vibrancy of life, I understand there really is no experience that is not like worth feeling and experiencing and being present for and attentive to. There's no emotion, there's no, life and death are not here to get us to be any other way, at least for me, than the way I am right now. This is the moment that I am alive. This is who I am in this moment. And there is nothing greater or grander than me in this moment as I am. So I wanted to capture this because it's not what I thought would happen after my second EMDR session. So different than the first one. And I want to give myself kudos for allowing myself for trusting myself and my experiences, that they have always led me back to some pretty amazing places, which are me, inside me, whatever that is. And it hasn't been easy to be me. I don't know, maybe it's easy for you to be you. It's not been easy for me to be me. I don't know if it's getting easier, but I'm becoming more comfortable with me being something, someone I have often said I couldn't be. There are many things about me that I used to say I could never be that because I couldn't, because you weren't supposed to be. And now I'm like, I absolutely, not only can I be that, I am that. And that's okay. It's okay for me to be all the things that I am. Yeah. So, my gift to myself in doing this is that may I always remember the immediacy of death and how grand death is, and allowing me to feel the immediacy of every moment. That it is a gift. Every moment is a gift. Every breath is a gift. Every experience is a gift. Um, and that's a hard one to say because hard shit happens. But that is how I feel right now. And I'm going to stick by that. Doesn't make sense. And that's okay. My heart somehow can hold that. And I'm proud of my heart for being big enough to do that. So, a few last words would just be maybe to close your eyes and take a breath and hold it. And if that was your last, what would you let go of? What would you allow death to cleanse and clear from your body, your mind, your energy? And maybe now you can take another breath and just be a little more grateful for one more. A little more grateful for one more. And I'm not really on the gratitude, grateful bandwagon either. I think we push things way too far. I think being grateful can just be, doesn't have to be anything. You don't even have to be grateful. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm proud of you for being here. However you are, I am glad you are here. Stay with us and just keep breathing. You never know. You never know. You never know. I hope you all have a beautiful evening, and that there is some measure of peace around your experience in this moment. And if there is no peace for you in this moment, that you hear my words and know they're true. You're doing an amazing job. I am so proud of you. And no matter how long it's been lasting or how hard it is, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Take care of yourself.